Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we do have two big official announcements from the club today that we have to talk about involving Mateu Alemany. We're also going to be talking about Deco and his ever-emerging role within the sports structure at Barça. We're also going to be talking a bit as well about Xavi and his future, his long-term future at the club, as well as Bernardo Silva. It is all on the way for you today. Thank you indeed for watching. Let's do this. Because if we do get straight on there to the two big announcements from the club today, the first one there came in the form of Deco, because the club confirmed that he has now officially joined the club as sporting director on a contract for the next 3 seasons there. So quite a long deal for Deco, 3 seasons as the sporting director. The club say there, Deco will be in charge of setting Barcelona's sporting philosophy, putting together the squad with the coach, and becoming head of the football section. As you will notice there, guys, that is quite a lot in Deco's job description, and the belief right now within the club is that Deco is ready to take on more power and that he has the full trust, the full belief of Joan Laporta, who has personally given now Deco the keys, basically. He's given him full responsibility within the board now on the sporting side to make key decisions. And perhaps now, looking forward, that directly correlates with the other official announcement from today. Because in line with Deco officially joining the club today, it has also been officially confirmed that Mateu Alemany will leave the club on September the 2nd, after the transfer window has indeed ended, which the club say is in line with the statement that was made on May the 2nd, when, remember guys, Mateu Alemany announced that he'd be leaving Barça after the summer window. Now, since that statement back in May, it looked like Alemany had reversed the decision to leave the club. At the time, of course, remember, it looked like he was joining Aston Villa, but that looked to be off. But I think even after he was set to stay for the summer, when it looked as though, he was going to continue at the club, I think long term, there was a little break in trust there. There was something there that made Laporta think, okay, I need to start planning for the future. Without Alemany, he looked at Deco, things have taken more of a turn this summer, and the kind of responsibility that Deco has been allowed to take on, that really, I think, speaks volumes here. And I think it was always the ideal scenario to actually bring Deco into that completely new role, into completely unfamiliar waters, but with Alemany still at the club. That was the ideal scenario, because then he could learn from him, he could tap into that experience that Alemany has, and of course the quality that he's brought to the club to help with that transition of Deco. And I've got to say, guys, I think Deco has adapted really well. I think even in the early days of him in this job here, he's already stamped his authority on the transfer market. And from a scouting point of view, I've got to say I really like what I'm seeing. I am seeing somebody here who has clear ideas about the kind of players that he wants, the people that he wants to bring in and suit Barca's philosophy. And it's not always the big money option. It's not always the big name that jumps out at Deco. He seems like somebody who wants to spot the talent earlier, who wants to bring players in when maybe we don't have to pay the huge money, which of course really suits the kind of financial situation that we're in right now. But I do just want to say, guys, and make it absolutely clear, I will always be very grateful to what Mateu Alemany did during his time at the club. He is one of the key men, of course, who arrived under Joan Laporta when he came in as president, and Alemany helped to turn things around. No question about that there. The summer that he helped us to have 1 year ago, that is unforgettable. That work was absolutely off the scale. It was nothing short of extraordinary, and for sure, we are all going to miss him. We're all going to appreciate what he's done here, and thank you indeed for all of your hard work, and best of luck in your next step when it comes. But I also do wonder, guys, and this is the intriguing part of this sort of shift in dynamic within the club right now, because what does this also mean for Xavi Hernandez? Because don't forget, guys, since Xavi arrived as the Barca coach under Laporta, it was almost the same kind of story as Alemany. Xavi was the key man in turning things around, in taking that next step forward, and in order to do that, he was given every power. He had the final say on everything at the club there. Players coming in, players going out, the staff, the people in and around the club. Xavi decided everything. And I just wonder here, since Deco has arrived, also of course a man chosen by Laporta, has the balance roles just shifted a little bit when it comes to Xavi. Because, of course, right now, Xavi still has the final say as the Barca coach. We've seen that already this summer with the likes of Ruben Neves. He said no. Neymar, no. João Felix, at this point, he's still saying no, for example. But I do think in some areas, we're starting to see that Xavi and Deco don't always agree. And I just wonder going forward here, what is that dynamic going to be like? Because even at right back, we're seeing it already. Deco would much rather go for Ivan Fresneda. Xavi would rather get Cancelo. Xavi wanted the club to go for Juan Foyt. The club couldn't get him. And it's just little situations like that where it's going to be interesting to see who gets what they want in the end. Who has the power? Who has the very, very, very final say? Looking as well to the longer term. Because just remember, guys, Xavi's contract situation right now. He has a contract at Barca which expires next summer, in the summer of 2024. Beyond the end of this season, nothing at this stage is guaranteed with Xavi. Now, we know that renewal talks have been going on for a long time. We know that a deal is widely expected there, and all parties are very, very relaxed right now. But the fact remains, Xavi has still not renewed yet. And of course, that might be because of the transfer window. You might be getting all of that out the way first, and then Xavi can renew later. But originally, we thought it would be done straight after the league has been won. And it wasn't. Now, is that Xavi himself who's holding fire, maybe seeing how things progress there, seeing what this dynamic inside of the club is going to be like now? Is he frustrated at the transfer window? Does he feel as though the club haven't really got him the targets that he wanted, what he needs to do the job here? And there were even rumours that he wanted his staff to be better paid, more rewarded for the job that they've done so far. Or is it not Xavi at all? Is this more on the club side of things right now, who are not really rushing to finalise everything? Are they seeing how the start of the season develops? So they're looking at the Champions League group stage before planning for the long term again. And I've got no doubt, guys, that Xavi is going to be staying here. You know, I'm not questioning Xavi's immediate future at the club, but I think it is interesting right now, with Deco coming in on this quite long-term deal, what is the plan going forward? You know, when Xavi does indeed renew, when that gets finalised, what kind of deal is that going to be? Is that going to be a longer one again? Is it going to be a short-term deal? What do you think right now when looking to the future? How does it look from your perspective, guys? Because then we also have to talk about Bernardo Silva. Now remember, this is one of the players that Xavi has been insisting on, and not just this summer. He has wanted this guy now for 2 successive summer transfer windows, and the board have failed to get him for him. We have not been able to sign Bernardo Silva. And honestly, guys, I would question this summer as to whether the board's heart was ever in this deal anyway. I don't actually believe they ever wanted to spend big money this summer on Bernardo Silva. Now, did Xavi expect them to do that? That will be the question. But right now, Bernardo's about to renew. He is going to renew his contract at Man City, as was widely expected once Barca's interest in him ended. I think the deal as well was advanced after Kevin De Bruyne's injury recently. That's going to keep him out for a number of months, and I think City now certainly want to depend more on Bernardo. But what is interesting right now about that new deal, guys, is that Bernardo Silva apparently in that new Man City contract will have a release clause for next summer of €50 million. So that will become active there in 2024. And what do you make of that? Because already the rumours are beginning. They're starting. They're saying, will Barca go for him again in a third summer? Will Xavi still insist upon the signing of Bernardo? But of course, don't forget, guys, next summer, Bernardo will be 30 years old. They're €50 million. Would you pay that for Bernardo? Do you feel as though he would still be worth it at that stage of his career? Should our interest in him very much continue? Or enough is enough now? Do we feel as though, okay, we've had this saga, we've done this, we've been over all of this before, we tried to get him, we weren't able to, and now we need to move on? I think that would be the feeling maybe from within the club, but again, it all depends on that preference of Xavi, what he would like to do further down the line. But let me know, guys, would you be interested in Bernardo for 50 million? Do you think he'd still be worth that? I'm very interested in your thoughts today on all the topics that we have discussed there. Alemany's departure, Deco's power, the responsibility increasing for him, and also on Xavi's long-term future. Let me know how you see things progressing and how you see Barca shaping up. Looking to the future, I will see all of you guys very, very soon indeed, with more videos on the way. Thank you indeed for your great support. I'll be back soon. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.